Okay, so the lightweight division in boxing just became way more interesting over the weekend as Keyshawn Davis knocked out Dennis Berinchyk in only 4 rounds, and therefore Keyshawn holds the WBO lightweight title. Now, full disclosure, prior to seeing the boxing community rave about this fighter and then watching the fight itself, I had not heard of Keyshawn Davis before. Call me a casual all you want, I don't really care. But now that I have seen him finish a formerly undefeated boxer with a silver Olympic medal like it was nothing, I'm super intrigued to see what he can do in the division. Dennis's game plan coming in was to make this boxing contest into more of a brawl, clinching anytime he could, but Keyshawn was wise to this. Keyshawn Davis, being the longer fighter, took control of the range and counterpunched his opponent perfectly. I haven't felt his punches obviously, but it sounded like they sting quite a bit on the broadcast, so we have an undefeated powerful counterpuncher weighing in at around 135 pounds. That reminds me of someone else in the same division. That's right, Tank Davis. Gervonta Davis versus Keyshawn Davis would be a great fight to book in the next year or so, and would breathe new life back in the lightweight division after so many other major players have moved up. I'm talking about the likes of Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, who have all gone up to super lightweight to collect more belts at a more comfortable weight class. Keyshawn Davis is 5'9" and looks very sizable for lightweight, so I imagine he'll follow suit, but before he does, I'd love to see Tank versus Keyshawn as a unification bout. Keyshawn is only 25 years old, so he has a lot of time to develop in the sport, even if he loses a potential Tank fight. We're seeing more and more fighters rack up a loss or two in boxing, and it's not affecting their careers as much as it used to. This is good for the boxers themselves, and also great for the fans, because we're seeing more mega fights get over the line, oftentimes featuring 2 fighters risking their O's. Of course, Saudi's involvement is one of the biggest reasons why these super fights can happen, but whatever, we won't get into that. I'm not trying to write off Keyshawn's chances of winning, by the way. He's a big puncher, has Olympic level experience and IQ, and he's really big for the weight class. It just might be a little too early in his pro career to fight Tank. But fuck it, does it matter? Number 1, if he loses, he's 25 and has a long career ahead of him, where he'll probably collect belt after belt. Number 2, if he wins, beating Tank would solidify him as the best of his generation of lightweights. I don't care if Tank doesn't have any signature wins on his record. His skills are elite, and he's in most pound for pound lists without even unifying the division for a reason. So with that said, if Keyshawn goes out there and let's say knocks Tank out, that would be fucking incredible, and he'll be right up there with all the other great fighters. Oh, and number 3, Keyshawn is a title holder now, and so is Gervonta Davis. I get that Keyshawn just won the title, and he hasn't completed a 12-round fight yet. But it's like, are we going to create championship fights with our current champions or not? Why are there 4 champions in a division if they're not going to fight each other? I don't see why they can't fight each other, both being champions, or why they would need a couple more fights first. Fuck it, book it now. I mean, let's face it, Gervonta Davis looks like he's 1 foot out the door in the sport anyway. In a weird roundabout way, I respect him for taking the biggest possible paydays, making fights against the least formidable opposition. Like, Tank does not give a single fuck about making the fans satisfied. On the one hand, it's like, fair enough. They've scrutinized him for his entire career for not unifying or taking on elite opponents. So it's like, why the fuck would he want to placate to them? But at the same time, Tank just seems like a case of wasted potential, and it sucks to see. With his skill set, he could have been undisputed champion in 2 or 3 different weight classes. He could have knocked out elite fighter after elite fighter and reigned supreme as the king of the lighter weight classes. However, he doesn't really seem to care about that stuff, so we'll see what happens with this Keyshawn Davis matchup. Their styles are somewhat similar and both have knockout power, so it would be interesting to see how the fight actually plays out. But it's also very possible that Tank hangs up the gloves before it even materializes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you down the road.